Hello everyone. Here we are at lesson 2 of the colored pencil color wheel assignment. Before we get started, just a couple of things that I want to make a point of, guys. You really need to be using in that center wheel, part of the wheel, do you see how the colors change? You need to be using the complement of any color and layered on there to get that type of an effect. And what the complement is, just for review, is a color opposite the color wheel, the color on a color wheel. So opposite of red would be green, and that's how I would do it. I would make the green, which is blue and yellow, and I would layer that on the red. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and start with our yellow. Now, again, I'm going to begin with scrumbling. I want to scumbling because I want to try avoid making a lot of marks. Notice also I showed you guys the red and the blue, and that's so I can make violet when I change the intensity of my color in the center ring. Okay, here I am just doing some scumbling here, and as I get this layered on, I want to kick it up a little bit, make it go a little bit faster. And notice I'm doing the entire section. I did not do anything on that center section because I'm going to come in first with my blue, and then I'm going to layer a little bit of tiny bit of red on top of it to create a violet. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to layer the yellow on top of that violet. And if you notice on your color wheel, the violet's going to be opposite. It's the complement of your yellow. So I'm going to keep working this. I'm going to come in and I'm going to add a little bit more blue because it looked like it had just a little too much red in my violet. So I'm going to layer that on there, and then I'm going to actually come back in with some more yellow a little bit later on and put that in there. Okay, now I'm working a little bit of red on it. Again, blue and red make violet. So I'm using my blue and red on top of this section, and then I'm going to come in and I'm going to layer some yellow on top. And what will happen is this will just naturally blend and we'll get a dark yellow. Now, the one thing about dark yellow is one of the harder colors to do when you're working with colored pencil. Anytime you change the intensity of yellow or the value, you get a kind of a real funky color. And that happens with colored pencil as well. Take a look at it, and if it looks a little bit too orange, then add some blue to it. And that's what happened here. You always want to be working with your complements. Okay, so now that I have that done, I'm going to come back in here and I'm going to kind of clean up some of this yellow. This outside section should be our most intense, our darkest section. The middle section is using the pencil in a very light shading. The outside one is our very dark or really intense shading. Hard pressure on the outside, light pressure in the middle, complement in the very center. Okay? Now, I'm working to put some blue in here, and again, I'm doing the scumbling. I just want to kind of get that in there. I don't want to see a lot of pencil lines here at the beginning. So I'm working on this outside area, and then I'm going to come in and I'm actually going to do that entire area in one wash, and it'll get lighter as I go in. Again, heavy pressure on the outside, light pressure towards the center, and then a change in value and intensity in the very, very center. Now this is where I'm really starting to darken in the blue. I want to get heavy pressure. Okay, and middle to light pressure in the center. Okay, now I want to add the complement to the center section, and the complement of blue is orange. So I'm going to start with a little yellow. To create my orange, I need red and yellow. I'm going to layer in just a very light layer of yellow, and then I'm going to come in with another light layer of red, and you should see this start to change. It'll start to look a little bit like orange, and so I have a base of orange down in that center section. After I have the base of orange down, I'm going to come in with my blue pencil and go right over top of it. And what will happen is the blue will overtake it, but it will still be a less intense and a darker value of blue. And that's what I'm doing right here. I'm just layering right on top of that orange that I created, which I created by layering yellow and red. And now you can see that orange is kind of disappearing, and I'm starting to get almost like a navy blue in my center section. I'm wanting to bump up that speed a little bit. And now what I'm doing is I'm just trying to kind of clean everything up. If I see any pencil lines, I want to kind of smooth those out. I want to go into my center section, maybe a little bit more pressure if I need to. And I just keep working this until I'm pretty happy with that color. This is it took me about 20 minutes to complete everything that you guys see here. So on your second day, this is what you should have done. On your first day, you create the color wheel and you do your red. Second day, you do your yellow section and your blue section. Okay? And the whole time we're doing this, we're learning all about the wonderful world of color. So you guys, and we're also learning color pencil techniques. So you guys have a good day, enjoy it, and I will see you with lesson 3 shortly.